Parents' guidance.
Access to education.
Access. Parents' guidance, access to education. What else?
Should be given attention should be provided with basic needs.
Should be given attention and they have to be provided with basic needs. What are these basic needs?
Like if a child wants something, you have to give it to them.
Okay, the child wants something, let them have it. You say it something?
Food.
Food. Food is a basic need. Shelter is a basic need. Clothes is a basic need. Toys. All right. So security and safety is also very important. When the child feels safe, then they are also going to be in a position to explore. They are going to come out of the box and explore. In the course of exploring, they are also developing in one way or the other. So I said a statement whereby I said investing in children is one of the most important things a society can do to build a better future. This one is also good enough to be written in an essay. So if you are going to invest in a child, how is this going to contribute to a better future? Investments in children, how can it contribute to a better future?
Actually, the society will be well organized since the kid will be having access to different knowledge in the lives. For example, when all kids went to school, they are going to learn different knowledge on how to develop their community and societies. So if they are not educated, they won't be able to have the idea of developing their society. So once the society or the community invests in kids, they are really creating a good future, since their future will be bright because of the knowledge which the kids are going to be get, which will help.
Okay, so the brightness of the future is going to come through knowledge, one. Where is the other light going to come from? The brighter future. Where is the other light going to come from? Knowledge? Yes. How else? Apart from knowledge, what else is going to brighten the future? What else is going to build a better future apart from just knowledge? Discipline? Which domain is going to provide discipline?
Showing good guidance at home, good guidance and morals at home and even at school.
This is going to be taken from responsive caregiving. So a child is doing something, you respond to it, good or bad. Let there be a response. So as you're doing that, the child is also going to grow up morally upright. So if you're going to have a crop of children that are growing up morally upright, it also will affect the kind of society that is going to be there. Okay? So you can see that all those areas that we talked about, in as far as optimal development is concerned, can be applied here. Investing in a child is going to contribute to a better future. For example, nutrition. If you are going to invest nutrition-wise in a child, how is this going to reflect in future? You are also building up a strong connection. You are building up kids that are not they are not malnourished. They are strong enough. If they are strong, they are able to attend school. If they are strong, they are able to do ABCD, and therefore they are growing up holistically. How about investing in, as far as health is concerned, investing in early learning, investing in organized programs? You get the idea. So when we're talking about organized programs, we are not simply talking about programs that are delivered at school. You talk about the antenatal programs. Here there are a group of men and women that gather together. Information is imparted to them. They sing songs, yes, but they are also told a few things. These things are going to be applied to the kids, and they are growing up. So you are investing in organized programs whereby you're funding people to stand in front of parents or to stand in front of societies doing community health or in whatever way they can. But the idea is let them be told of how to take care of children, in as far as whether it's under 5 or it's 8 to 1, whichever direction. But the more time you spend in taking care of kids, it is going to reflect later in life. So take that into consideration. Investing in children is one of the most important things a society can do to build a better future. I have taken it down. I don't know about it. Okay. Early childhood development, like we have said, it results from many interventions and services throughout early childhood period. Early childhood development results from many interventions and services. Just that statement. What do you understand by that? You know, there are times I give you these presentations, but then I'm like, when you go through them, you don't really understand what they are talking about. Early childhood development results from many interventions and services. What do you understand by that? Early childhood interventions. Early childhood development, early childhood development results from many interventions and services. What do you understand? We have talked about this. We are repeating on what we have been talking about. But this time around, it's just come in a different way. So we are saying the development results from many interventions and services. So my question is, what do you understand from that? Okay, I said that for a child to develop holistically, or if we want to achieve optimal development in children, then the domains of development are supposed to be stimulated. When you're talking about the domains, we said we are talking about the cognitive part, the social-emotional, the physical part, right? Okay, so for the physical part to develop, for the social part to develop, language part to develop, the emotional part to develop, these are all going to develop if there is interventions and services. So the point is, development results from interventions and services. It was in this class whereby I asked you to come up with interventions that are there in early childhood, right? Interventions? Early childhood interventions? It was Dennis, right? What did you present on? Physical, right? Okay. Physical intervention where you were talking about therapies. All right. What did you present on? Physical as well. Hilda? Cognitive intervention. What was it about? Huh? No, not effects of poverty. You were talking about kids going through therapies for them to walk and stuff. No? All right, if I can bring back the question to you to say, what are some of the interventions that are supposed to happen or that are supposed to be given to children that you know? Interventions. Radiology. Okay. Radiology, how is it going to help the child? Okay. Children that have got problems with hearing, they can go through that to help them. When we're talking about an intervention, what is it? Maybe we start from there. Early childhood intervention. Boston. Services, right? Okay. So what are some of the services that are offered to children that you know? Visual therapy, physiotherapy, speech and language therapy. What else? Medication. Under 5 clinics, yes. Early learning. The early learning is also an intervention. Okay, so you see all these that you have mentioned, they are going to help a child develop. So a child is going to develop through early learning. A child is going to be helped to learn when they have taken care of its hearing difficulties or even the visual impairment. So what we are saying is early childhood development results from these interventions and services throughout the period, the childhood period, across different areas. What are these areas? We are talking about the health area. There are interventions that are intervening in the health issues. You've got nutrition. Apart from nutrition, you've got early learning, which is the primary education, but also social protection. Social protection, you can now even talk about the rights of children. One right of a child is the right to good food. What is another right of a child? Right to good food, what? Right to play. Right to education. Right to be given a name. Okay, so my point is, these are some of the areas, services and interventions that are supposed to be, that are supposed to happen to make sure that development takes place. Without some of these, development is not going to take place. What are these areas? The healthy area, nutritional area, early learning, and social protection or security. Apart from this, there is also responsive care giving. Responsive care giving is very, very important because if you're not going to respond to a child's need, then there's going to be a lot that is going to go wrong. So, strengthening the capacities of primary caregivers to provide effective care is going to lead to optimal development of children. That is also a statement that is very full. Strengthening the capacity of primary caregivers to provide effective care and to stimulate children learning will lead to optimal development of children. In educational psychology, we say that one of the most important things to do is to make sure that you are employing people that are trained. If you've got a preschool and you want to employ people that have got an experience in children. Because training without that, then you're not going to strengthen the capacity. You're not going to be able to stimulate learning in the children because they just don't know how to treat them. At the same time, in the same education, we say that whoever is going to develop a curriculum has to have, it has to be a child expert. Why should they be a child expert? Because whatever content they are going to put together to be addressed to the children is going to be something that is going to be liked by them. But at the same time, it is also going to be in a position to address developmental needs at every developmental stage. They are not going to give content that is supposed to be given to the standard 1 child and give it to a middle class child. But a child expert understands the children's abilities and capacity at every developmental stage. So what I'm saying is, the caregivers are supposed to be given the capacity, or they are supposed to be, their capacity to facilitate learning has to be strengthened. They should come to a point where they are going to understand. This is a baby class. How do babies learn? Babies learn by 1, 2, 3, 4. This is middle class. How do children from 4 to, say, 3 to 4 years learn? They should have an idea. How does the reception class behave? They should all have an idea. So if they have an idea, then they are going to facilitate learning properly. So it is very, very important that the caregivers are supposed to be strengthened in as far as their capacity to handle a child is concerned. Failing which, children will go to school, come back, but nothing is happening. Do you have a question so far? No? You can go on?
No. On what you have just said, it is important to impact the primary or the preschool teachers with a lot of knowledge so that they can be able to handle kids. What are some of the effects which might happen once the care?
What are some of the what?
What are some of the effects which can come out if the caregivers are not well trained? Is it bad to employ someone? There are some people who are naturally born on helping the kids, the able of the kids. They find that they are not trained, they didn't even go to school. Is it bad to take those people who are naturally born with that capability of taking care, even if they're not trying to go and teach the kids.
Okay. Open to the floor. Is it bad to employ people that are naturally born, that naturally know how to take care of children? Is it bad?
Yes.
Okay, Oprah says, yes, it is bad. Can you explain how bad is it? Or why is it bad?
They only know how to take care of it. But my child to develop the needs, personal trained rules or the child to develop, not just take care of the part.
Did you hear that? When we are talking about taking care of a child, it's just not about one area. There are a lot more that are supposed to be incorporated. So if you are going to take someone who has that natural reaction over children, then responsive caregiving is going to work. How about the stimulation on the cognitive part?
Right, we have mothers who are not educated.
That is why we are saying there has to be responsive caregiving, there has to be early learning, right? So mothers that are not educated are going to do their part and then send the children to school. The schools and other interventions are going to do the other parts that the caregivers are not going to be able to do. The hospital and community health workers, they are also going to do a part that schools are not to do. So as we are doing that, remember we say it is a collaborative effort. It is a collaborative effort whereby different service providers, they're supposed to come together to make sure the child is going to grow up in a way that it's supposed to. Taisha, you had your hand up?
No, my question is the same.
That what?
The effects of not having caregivers that are trained.
Okay, the effects of having caregivers that are not trained. If I would, if you train that, okay, you can have a caregiver that was naturally born, as you're saying. But if you give it training, it's going to be even much, much better. Because they are now going to, remember when we were doing introduction to psychology, I say you're going to go out there, find people in the village that are behaving or acting otherwise. When you ask the people around, they will tell you, this is how he or she behaves. But for you, because you have gone through psychology, it's going to be more than the positioning of the moon. You are going to understand better what is happening. That's why we talked about the environment, but we also talked about the internal environment of a person, if you remember. Okay? So, you are going to find someone who has got a speech impairment, yet they were born normal. But if you try to find out their history, you are going to hear that at some point they were involved in an accident. But then the villagers are going to tell you, I think the witches are ganging up against this guy because it's a trouble after another. He was involved in an accident, they didn't leave him there, they are also trying to remove his speech and stuff. But you are going to understand the kind of injury that this person has and where it was affected. So here is someone who is trained to take care of a child. He's going to do more than someone who was just born knowing how to take care of the child. Because you're going to have knowledge beyond just that natural instinct thing. I don't know if you're getting it. And you are going to find mothers, at some point, children are afraid of certain toys. At some point, some kids are afraid of a balloon. As the balloon is getting bigger and bigger, they're scared. Others are going to play with a toy, but at a certain age, the same toy they're going to be scared of. So, as a mother, mothers find it fun when they are trying to scare the child with a toy in their faces and the child is screaming and all that. They have fun knowing that, oh, she's crying. But someone who knows the developmental stages of a child, you are going to understand to say, this fear is real. Just the same way I would be afraid if I see the snake. So when they say they are afraid, they are afraid. It's not fun, it's not plastic, but it's coming down inside you. So it is going to be different. Someone who has been trained, they know, with someone who just happens to know that. But if you train that particular person, it's going to be even much, much better. All right, can we go on? What is the importance of early childhood development? Okay, before I throw that back to you, let me just explain something that I have already explained. We said that by year 5, or by the age of 5, 90% of the child's brain will have already developed. This means that the main foundations for a child's success in school and in their life in general will have already been established before they even start primary school. %90 of a child's brain will have been developed by age 5, meaning to say that the main foundations for the child's success in school and in their life in general will already have been established before they even start primary school. True, right? Okay, we're talking about the foundation. The foundation is the brain itself. But this brain, you and I have agreed, is almost, it's not empty, but it needs some work to happen on it, for it now, for the child now to start putting all the building blocks on top of what is already there. So it means that positive interventions in early learning are very critical. Positive interventions in early learning, very critical. Why is it critical? Because it is going to be even more difficult for later catch-up efforts to, if you want to do it later, to replicate the neural pathways established during these early years. So here is, I give you an example of a child, a street mother and father giving birth to a child who is also growing up in the streets. You know what they are going to experience as they're growing up. So you take that child off the streets at 10 years. What do you expect? His brain has been wired in its own way. You are really going to have a tough time to replicate or to make up catch-up efforts later in this particular age. Have you ever heard of people that have picked a child from the streets, but later they run back? You ever heard about it? So here is, there used to be one at City Mall. He used to speak very, very good English. And then when you get to hear his history, they will tell you he's been raised by a white person. But then what happened? Sam is actually nodding. You've seen him? Do you know his history? No? Yeah, so we are told that this one grew up with a white man. So he was picked at a certain age, but the white man couldn't keep up. He was thrown back into the street. He speaks very, very good English. What is happening? We are saying by age 5, 90% of a child's brain will have already developed, and this is the foundation of a child's success in school and other areas of life in general. And the point is, making positive interventions at early age is going to be very, very important, because if you're going to, it is going to be difficult for later catch-up efforts to replicate the neural pathways established during early years. If you are going to, when you grow up beyond here and beyond now, when you have, when you get to start having your own children and stuff, try to carry out an experiment. At a younger age, try to teach the child mathematics, adding, subtractions, and those kinds of numerical abilities, and see how that child is going to be later in the years. It's either you can choose you're going to give it a lot of maths, or give it a lot of books so that it reads and reads and reads, and then see what happens as the child grows up. Is it going to be sharp in as far as numbers is concerned? Is it going to be sharp in as far as, or fast in as far as reading is concerned? Should I say who's calling? Whose phone is it? Can you put it on silent? So, you get what I'm trying to say here. There is, I have got someone close to me, anyway, the daughter of my sister. When she was young, my sister used to give her a lot of books to study. I don't know if you've ever studied, there were a series of, a little girl named Christina, there was Kristen, there was Famous Five and You. I don't know if you've ever read it, but in the library you find there are a series of books talking about the same person, but they come in different stories. So she used to give her as she was growing up. So she grew up, and as I am talking today, every year when the year begins, she sets herself like to how many books I'm going to read this year. So she goes up to 350 books a year. So she's got about so much in a month. So every day you get to hear a precept from some book that she has read. So she's so much in that. She's working, but she's also reading, and she reads and reads and reads. What happened? That was stimulated when she was young. So my point is, try to give it a shot. Raise up a child in a specific way and see if that is going to manifest later in life, or how that is going to develop later in life. So you be in a position to say, I think what this developmentalist was saying is true, or I think it's false. But now, suppose I want to raise a child who is going to have numerical skills, but myself, I am not genetically, I don't do numbers. How is that going to come out? Can numerical skills be passed on? His dad was very good in maths. What is he? Is there anything like that? No? Yes, please. Okay, so I can be poor in maths, but I can raise up someone who is great in maths, right? All right, so what we are saying is the early interventions are very, 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 very important if you are going to raise a healthy nation later on. Because the neural pathways are going to be built in specific ways. So it is up to the caregivers. Now I'm going back to the same statement to say there is always a need to make sure that the capacities of the caregivers has to be strengthened. And I am going to take it back again to say interventions and services are what brings about a part in the developmental process of the child. So when we are talking about interventions, we are not only talking about interventions that are targeting directly to the child. We are also talking about interventions that are targeting the caregivers. This time around, teachers, the community at large, as well as parents. So we are saying investing in early childhood development is very important. So this kind of investment we are talking about, it's not just about school. So we are talking about the antenatal clinics, we are talking about community health, we are talking about anything else that is going to address early childhood development is going to bring about a positive development in a child. Therefore, if that is going to happen, then you are also going to be assured that the foundation is, we are putting in better building blocks on the foundation that was laid when the child was about 5 years old. Can we go on? Okay. What is the benefit of investing in early childhood development for caregivers? What is the benefit for caregivers in investing in early childhood development? What is it? What is in for the caregiver? Benefits of investing in ECD for caregivers.
I think that when a child, they will know when a child reaches a certain stage what to give the child and what not to give the child. Example, like there is like the response to maybe when a child is crying, about something, the caregiver will know when to respond. And if it's important, is respond to the child. If it's not,
Okay. It's going to increase the quality of responsiveness or responsive relationship. What is another benefit?
It helps to break the cycle of poverty.
It helps to break the cycle of poverty. How is that going to happen?
Like maybe the child is lacking some basic needs in the past. So when the caregiver started investing some money with them, that means they will break the poverty. That means they will no longer be lacking basic needs in the future because they will bring these things.
All right. Breaking the cycle of poverty because the caregiver is going to invest in the child. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. What is another benefit of investing in ECD for a caregiver? Because the benefits will not only be on the child, but it's going to be on the caregiver, it is going to be on the society, it is going to be on the child itself. So we are starting with a caregiver.
Job opportunity.
Yeah?
Job opportunity.
It helps to
Job opportunity.
job opportunities. Oh, that's a clever way of thinking about it. What do you mean when you say job opportunities?
Some, let's say, parents have a child, they can hire someone, caregiver, to the next child.
Okay. Someone is going to be employed and therefore,
feel like sometimes, if the parents are not trained, like they don't know, they didn't go to school, they can employ a caregiver that like is well trained, which can create responsible. The child can be responsible, the caregiver can be responsible.
okay, the parents employing someone who's good at taking care of the child, and therefore the child is going to be responsible.
Yeah.
All right. How about allowing women to enter the workforce? Allowing women, apart from what Irene has said, but it also allows women to enter the workforce. Women are going to be in a position to go back to work, right? They'll be able to work because there are caregivers around. Because there are several interventions that are going to help in bringing about the child. But at the same time, apart from allowing women to enter the workforce, it also increases family and community cohesion. COHESION. Family and community cohesion. Community is going to come together to learn about different information that is supposed to be delivered to the kids. And therefore, there could be bylaws that can be passed on within the communities to say, no person in this village should be found with their child sitting around at home. From age 2.5, from age 3, every child is supposed to go to school. So the community is going to come together because of that. They have got a common cause to work towards. So they are going to collaborate in different ways. So there's going to be family as well as a community cohesion. But at the same time, the society is also going to benefit from investing in early childhood education in a way that you can reduce the poverty rates. You can reduce the poverty rates. How? When you're training the child, when you're bringing up the child holistically, these children are going to be the kind of the future who will be part of working in the community or raising the nation. So if you're raising healthy children, cognitively they are developed, socially developed, health-wise they are fine, they will be able to be part of the workforce. And that is going to increase the GDP and public revenues. So that gives us a chance to break the cycle of poverty. That's how the society is going to benefit. And if I can bring it down to the benefits of the same to a child. The child is going to benefit from investing in early childhood. One, in the sense that it increases the child's survival and development. It increases the child's survival and development. Health-wise, it is being taken care of. So the survival, the mortality rate is higher. I mean, it's higher or lower? It's lower, right? Yeah. So the mortality rate is lower because there is healthy interventions, but again, it also improves the child's literacy as well as numeracy skills. The social and emotional development part of a child is also increased. But again, it enhances school-related achievements. So how does a child benefit from early childhood investments? We are saying, one, survival rates, survival and developmental chances, very high, one. Improvement of a child's literacy as well as numeracy skills, two. Social and emotional development is also assured, three. And it also enhances school-related achievements. Certificate, diploma, numbers, medals at school, presents, and so on and so forth. Okay, do we have any question or have I gone too fast? I have left someone.
These are the questions just out of curiosity. Why is it like in maybe ECT state or kindergarten, you find like women are more employed than men?
In what is it descended?
Yes.
Okay, open to the floor. Why is it like that? Why is it that we find a lot of men, a lot of ladies than men is descended? Do we have the reason? Why?
Women have this problem.
Women have a special bond with children. Okay, that's our idea. Women have got a special bond with children. Who else? Why do we have a lot of women than men? Have you ever? Yes.
These people's mindset is that women are caring than men.
It's a mindset that women are caring than men. It's we can go back to the developmental issues. Like we are saying, the first years of a child are very important. What kind of toys are you buying the girl child? What kind of toys are you buying the boy child? So you're buying the girl child dolls and babies and whatever, but the boy child has got cars and everything else that has got something to do with technology. How do you expect this one that was playing with balls, cars, and action figures to take care of the child in an early childhood development? The brain is not wired in that way, but the girl child's brain has been wired towards that. So when we are saying that these early interventions during the first years are very important, it plays out later in life. So if you are going to go to the Western countries, you will see that taking care of a child rests more on a man than a woman. When you have friends that are married with white ladies or white men, you actually get to hear about stories. So, culturally, we believe that women are better or they're good at taking care of children, but also